Hey, good morning. 6:30 already as we begin this adventure together. It's Wednesday. Odie will be in a moment. After coffee's made, he'll be ready to face today as well. Our show kicks off at 7 for local events. I hope you'll come back and join us for that. Right now, 76, a high of somewhere around 90. That heat index will be worse today. We should reach 99 on that heat index side. 70% chance of rain this afternoon. So get what you got to get done early as you can. If it's an outside adventure, we should start seeing rain anytime after 4:30-ish. Subject to change, as we all know how Mother Nature does. But that's what we're looking at this point. Details on the forecast coming up in a few moments. We'll update you on all that, find out what's happening with that. Plus, we'll be back in a few moments with, headline shaping America. Right now, we've got to get our good message of the day, no matter what else happens. Let's go to Collinsville now.
If you were to make a list of things you desire the most, one thing that a wise person has near the top of that list is a good reputation. Proverbs 22:1 says, "A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold." In other words, a good reputation is highly valuable. In 3 John 2, who was living this out, his name was Demetrius, and he's described as a man of good reputation. Demetrius, it says, is well spoken of by everyone and even by the truth itself. Now that's a powerful testimony. His character wasn't just praised by people, but affirmed by the truth of God. In a world where reputation can be crafted or manipulated, Demetrius' integrity was genuine, consistent with the gospel he believed. So this verse, y'all, challenges us to consider what kind of name we're building. Do our lives match the truth we profess? Are we consistent in public and private, in action and word? A faithful life doesn't just earn the respect of others, it reflects the truth of Christ. So John's recommendation of Demetrius reminds us that faithfulness is seen, noticed, and worth imitating. Someone once said, "Live in such a way that if people speak badly of you, no one will believe it." So seek to live in such a way that not only others, but the truth itself can affirm your life. Let your walk speak louder than your words. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that as we get this day underway. Why is that not working? We'll do it this way. It is Wednesday, the middle of the week, as we move into August the 13th. Can y'all believe that? My little fingers are starting to show less numbers toward Christmas. My, oh my, that's going to be here before we know it. Yeah. As always, Christmas is a special time to remember what it's all about. But boy, we look forward to it, and it just seems as though they get here quicker each year. Well, let's get into headlines that are moving across America this morning. I often refer to Mike Rowe. Y'all know the guy from Dirty Jobs. Matter of fact, he was here one time as he went up to Cycles Mills and they did the story there. Pretty neat to have Mike here with us. It's been a few years now. It's flown. But as Mike has often talked about, trades, get a skill. Well, the results are out on this. And I wanted to just point this out. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being a plumber, an AC guy, a welder. You want to know why? On average, it makes about $11,000 more a year than someone that has a piece of paper from a university. Now again, let me back up and say there's nothing wrong with having a piece of paper. God has made us all different. We have different paths we have to take in life. But so often I've seen society go, well, he doesn't have a college education, there's not much to him. Oh, there's a lot more. Have a skill and you'll go far in life, because there's always someone who doesn't want to do something and they're willing to pay for it. And the better trade you've got, the better off you'll be. Just keep that in mind. Again, I'm not poking fun at anybody that has a degree. There's nothing wrong with that. God's made us all different, and we choose the paths that we're best at. So that's my thoughts on that. We have 2 people that have been hospitalized. This is awful. It seems like we had this happen in our area a few years ago. This is Las Vegas, is where we go this morning for this story, to where someone standing on an overpass dropped bricks below, hit the windshield of a car. 2 people have been hospitalized over this. No one's been taken into custody just yet over that. But Las Vegas, dangerous. Whether that's a prank, I'm not sure. Was it targeted? Most likely not. They were just doing it to be mean. We hope they're caught. We're going to Washington Airport, Washington State. The Washington Department of Corrections has had to put out a bolo. They lost someone at the airport. 20-year-old there. He was being escorted through the security, and he got away. Oh, he's got a long list of things that he's done, even at 20. Let me just go ahead and show you his picture from the Department of Corrections there in Washington State. Kind of easy to recognize for that tattoo right on the forehead.
It's me.
Now, if you were to just read the story of what he done, you think, oh, there's not much to that. Plea bargains are made. He's a part of that. He gave up, got some crimes dropped against him to plead guilty to what he done. He'll have some more tacked on now. My, oh my. 20, that's mighty young to already be headed to jail, isn't it? It happens every day in our nation when we have people who don't want to abide by the rules. They have made an arrest on this. Brad Pitt, y'all remember when his house was broken into? Mm-hmm. They say it wasn't broken into because it was Brad Pitt. It was just because it was a richer neighborhood, and the thieves, well, they were in there taking what they could. They caught them at another home, and they've had some stuff that belonged to homes in that area. Most likely going to be charged in that crime. And they should be. Sad news is we see that the Coast Guard has suspended searching in Oregon. 4 men were on a boat. It capsized. Happened Sunday. They have not been able to find them. They have suspended the search. Maybe that's a better word for that. We feel for these families. Although Oregon is a long way from where we're sitting right now in Mississippi or Alabama, wherever it is that you're watching from, it's still sad. They have family. We think of them. And I always worry that I say this wrong, and I probably always do. Texas. Remember the school where the 21, 22 children lost their lives? Uvalde? Did I say that? Uvalde?
Yeah.
The police chief at the time. Now, I'm around police all the time. I'm around Homeland Security. I'm around OD and all of those, and fire departments. And each week, there's some type of new training that you've got to go to. You've got to be refreshed. Maybe some of it you've never done, but you should be refreshed. The police chief, as all the documents start coming out, did not attend the class to where it dealt with just this, a shooting situation. And the number one thing that the class taught was to respond and to face the threat. He did not do that, if we remember. It's almost as if they were chicken. It's hard to even talk about. But it was a cowardly run operation. Children lost their lives. He's no longer there. Training when it comes to these things. It should be at the blink of an eye. When trouble starts, you know what to do. You've practiced it so much. We hope that it never happens. We see now in many, many churches throughout the South, and well, even in the North is starting to do this, where they've got security, where you would have never seen that. I can remember, honestly, the first time that I grabbed a church door and it was locked. And I thought, why is this? As a kid, they were always open. Not so much anymore. If you leave them open, they're broken into. Things have changed. Tom Elliott is a guy that's got an account on Twitter. And I bring this up for one reason only. This guy that he's talking about is just upset that in D.C. that he feels that the police are doing too much. He's more afraid of climate control than he is about losing his wallet, to what he's talking about. But that's not why I'm going to feature him. I really think that somewhere in his family he's kin to Don King, and I thought we should show his picture. There he is.
Did he wake up that way?
Do you really make yourself look that way? That's that hair that's Don King hair. I don't care who you are. Maybe he'll get that worked out. We had a train derailment in Palo Pinto, Texas this week. They think hazardous materials were on that train. Oh my, big one there. Railroad crashes are scary, especially when those chemicals are involved in that. Now, do you know the name John Oliver? Oh, he's by far a liberal upon liberal. I've watched his show once or twice, and you have to be honest, even if someone doesn't think the way you are, every now and then they say something that's funny, and he has. But he's extremely liberal. But what happens when the liberals start talking about liberals? Well, it's usually pretty bad. And I I've never really paid much attention to Chuck Schumer. Is anybody, who I'm talking about? But Chuck, apparently, for the last, he started, from what I'm understanding, somewhere around 1980, talking about a family called the Baileys. They're in a book that he wrote, and through the years, he's talked about them quite a bit. We've learned their jobs, what they do for a living, what the family does. John Oliver has, I guess, broken protocol. And this is who John Oliver is right here. He did a speech that is pretty funny, to where we found out the Baileys don't exist. All of these years, this guy, Chuck Schumer's been talking about this, and they turn out to be fictitious. Absolutely nothing about what he says has been true, allegedly. It's all been made up. It was kind of like popcorn, so to speak, or when Biden ran into somebody and he adapted their life into his.
Ain't that true?
It's worth a watch. Look up John Oliver and the Bailey family. You'll be able to find that on Twitter and watch the whole thing on that. Montana, as we go there this morning, Montana, parked airplane got hit by another aircraft landing. Oh my, sparked a fire. Now everybody's going to be okay, but have mercy. A little training, I think, needs to go into effect there. There's nothing worse than someone using the Lord to hide. Do you know what I mean by that? As in being a member of a church, and we've seen this a lot with priests and things of what they do. Let me make sure. Maryland is where we go. Baltimore County in Maryland. Youth pastor. This will make your skin crawl, but he's being accused of at least sexually trying to... 16s have come forth, let me put it that way. Do you know what he told them?
What's that?
God kiss men on the lips, why don't we? That was his first tactics into trying to groom young men in his church. He's 52, he's been arrested. There's others that are coming forward now telling what he did to them.
Oof.
That's disturbing. It is beyond disturbing. It bothers me anybody would go to a church and try to do this, and we see it quite often of people hide behind cloaks, pretend to be one thing when they're up to no good, hide behind the work of the Lord. It bothers me to no end. I hope it does you as well. What is going on in Texas? It looks like they're going to be returning. I'm talking about the Democrats that fled the state as they were getting ready to vote on redistricting. Looks as though Beto O'Rourke, as we talked about, could be, they're wanting charges put against him for everything he's done. He was paying for a lot of things. Will it happen? Who knows there? Looks like they're going to be returning there. I don't quite understand everything I've read on this. Can you vote in Texas without them being there? Or was that the whole reason they left? They're going to eventually have to, whether they keep walking out or not, they can keep calling special sessions, and eventually they'll have to vote. We'll wait to see what happens with all of this. It's been an uproar in Texas over this. New congressional lines is what the whole thing was about. Aaron Rodgers, y'all know who I'm talking about, that football player? He's probably pretty good. He's going to the Pittsburgh Steelers now, and he's in a bad mood this morning. Oh, do you know why he's in a bad mood?
Won't nobody let him play football.
Well, they're going to let him play, but, they've told him that his helmet that he's worn for 20 years is no longer up to code, and he must wear a new helmet. He's been out of shape over it. He don't like it. Says it looks like a space shuttle, and he don't want to wear it.
Well,
I say all of this. He gets paid very well. But everything that I've read about this guy just isn't good. And there's always more to the story than you know, but it just seems as though he doesn't get along with his family members all that well. I'll leave it at that. Again, there's a lot of times you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. James Comey. We got a guy that says that he's coming forth saying that James Comey is the one that leaked all the information to the New York Times trying to, cause Trump trouble back in the day. This is just the beginning of this. This could lead to further things. Will anybody go to jail? I doubt it. They're politicians. They never seem to pay the price that normal Americans have to, do they? They seem to get away with most anything. I know you're thinking Clinton, and, well, it is what it is. We'll see what becomes of all of this as names start coming out. It was the biggest conspiracy that I think I've ever seen on U.S. soil. All this going back. Russia hoax. Spirit Airlines may not be making it. Getting close to where bankruptcy is almost going to happen. And here's a name, as we talk about things that may not make it, it almost reminds me of Sears and Roebuck. Sears and Roebuck truly was your first, well, what you would call your eBay or your Amazon. It truly was. It was the catalog. Everything they had was there. All the people in charge needed to do was buy a web address and you could have bought everything they had. But they didn't. They stalled and waited. The next company that we see that is just like that, that used to be a household name, it was called a Kodak Moment. And that meant it was a picture to take. They are near bankruptcy. They may not make it. They are millions of dollars in debt. They didn't adjust to the changing. How do you fight a digital new way when you're film? I don't know, but it doesn't look like they're going to pull out of this. It's a lot of things that are going by the wayside that used to be. Back in the day when railroads were big, the newspapers were it. Newspapers are no longer a way that America gets their news. Same way with radio, and things have changed as things evolve into a new century. You have to change with it or you get left behind. Nothing like being found some 66 years later. They actually saw this happen. It was 1959. A 25-year-old man was there doing research and he fell into a crater. They couldn't reach him. They have been able now to retrieve his remains. That happened in 1959 in Antarctica. His family will be proud. That's been some years ago, has it not? We got two ladies, and this is sad. I don't want anybody to think I'm poking fun at anyone. We have two ladies that are claiming Southwest Airlines left them behind following a delay. They were blind, and they were left behind, unable to see when it was time to get on the plane. They're causing a ruckus, and I understand that. I don't know much about rappers. I'll give you a name. Maybe you know him, maybe you don't. Rapper, you call this Maluma?
Okay.
M-A-L-U-M-A. Couldn't his mama have helped him out there and give him a name that we could all pronounce? He was at a Mexico City concert, and I almost understand this. He stopped his concert and said, "Whoa, wait a minute. What are you doing bringing a kid to the concert with no ear protection?" She had an infant in the crowd, and well, as you all know, it's loud at these places. Rarely would somebody stop one, but he did. I'll give him credit for that. I'm sure I couldn't understand his music, but he was looking out for the little fella. There ain't no way, let me say it that way, that a turtle is worth $1.4 million. Can you imagine? Guy's going to jail. He was trying to sneak a $1.4 million turtle into Hong Kong in his sock. How do you value a turtle to be? There's things I don't understand. That's one of them. Again, it may be some species, but what does that matter? I don't get it, but there you go. We have 13 people that are going to be arrested from the Dominican Republic, the DR, as it's said. We have had this happen here locally. It's people that call up the elderly and say, "Hey, your grandchildren are in trouble." And they've recorded and made the voice of them by AI. They go by their names. 13 people are going to jail. They've cheated American grandparents out of $5 million. That's awful. Send money now, they won't go to jail. Y'all watch these scams. They're getting better and better at what they do with the AI intervention. And it will sound like your grandchild on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
My, oh my. What else do we have this morning? We have a group of mayors it doesn't matter where you're from or what you're doing. If a city is in bad shape, it's in bad shape. We have a bunch of mayors saying that Trump deploying the National Guard to cities is not just. He's picking on them. If you've got high crime, I do believe that it is time for the National Guard to step in, especially when we have leaders that are running things that do nothing. I myself have bumped into one or two of these people along my career. A lot of times it's from, well, they shouldn't be in the job to begin with. We get an elected official, and well, that elected official does a favor to someone who convinced the community to vote for them, and they're put into office. Next thing you know, the city's taking a spiral downward. Crime gets out of hand. There's no one smart enough to take control and run things. Next thing you know, people quit coming to your town because they're getting robbed, raped, and no telling what else. This needs to be done. It needs to be stopped before it gets out of hand in all of our cities, our major cities that have crime that are spiraling out of control. Let's step up. Let's fix the problem. And then it's up to you, the American voter, to pick it up from there and put someone in office that is capable of running it. On the way, we've got that forecast next here at the Scotty Ray Report.
Looking for a deal you can't pass up? Right now, drive off in a quality used car for just $299 down and only $299 a month here at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Meridian. That's right, good reliable cars packed with features at a price you'll love. $299 down, $299 a month. Look, I'm not kidding. This is a real offer that our customers have taken advantage of for years now. Come see us today, Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Meridian.
Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
Our record highs and lows. Back in 54, it was hot today. 103 was our temp. Back in 04, we had a low of 55. Today's going to be much nicer as we wait for that high of 90. You will not like that heat index being at 99 with that 70% chance of showers. Nothing yet from Jackson. They're trying to get it together. As we go to Alabama, they know what's happening. 87 in Demopolis. We'll see somewhere around 89 in Tuscaloosa. Birmingham, much cooler. 86 is what we're seeing there. Even over at Montgomery, 86. And a cool 84 in Troy, Alabama. As we look to what's happening here, dangerous heat stress just to our west. Newton County, it's going to be right up on your door there as we see Scott County and these areas with 105 plus temperatures. The East Mississippi side, east of Scott County, should be somewhere around 99, just below 100 is what we're looking at that. By tomorrow, it's going to be warmer. We'll reach the 105 in East Mississippi and 110 era from Jackson back west to the state line. What we have here coming across as we look at this, heat in the southern part of Mississippi, portions of Louisiana. It's going to be warm here, but hotter toward the Mississippi Gulf Coast as we look at our 7-day outlook. 90 today, 73 for a low tonight, 60 to 70% depending upon where you're standing, increasing to a 70% chance also for tomorrow, 40% on Friday, and we have that 30% chance of lingering afternoon showers over the weekend for Saturday and Sunday. Highs are going to be, well, relatively warm, 94, 95 both days over the weekend. We'll begin the week still with slight chances of rain, somewhere around 95 for a high. As we move all the way through the 27th of the month, we're going to see that, well, we had 70s at night. Daytime highs somewhere between 90 to 92 for the most part there. Slight chances of rain each day. Not all that bad. As we go to our fishing forecast and go out to Clarkdale Superette, we see that today the wind's going to be calm, north around 5 miles an hour this afternoon. Perfect time to fish will be from about 4 o'clock till 6 o'clock. Minor time to fish will be this morning around 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock if you're going to be out. Sunrise happened at 6:17. Sunset will happen somewhere around 7:41 p.m. this afternoon. As you'll notice now, again, I pointed it out yesterday, these daytime sunrises are getting further and further, and sunsets are getting shorter as we head toward the fall, isn't it? Well, let's back out and take a look at what's on live radar this morning before we cut to what's coming up. Let me get back over here to radar where we can all look at this together. As we pull this up, we have showers out to our east. Look at here. A few showers around Hattiesburg as we go deep into Lauderdale County. Let's turn on some location so you'll see this. We got a small shower picking up here just north of Marion, about Cotton Gin, as we move up to this all the way through Northeast High School. A little bit of a rain shower there in between there and NAS Meridian. As we go further northward into Kemper County, somewhere around the Chicken Shack, from there to Scuba, we got showers, heavier showers there at Baca Valley, stretching over to Giles and toward Geiger, Alabama, and those areas. In the Bentonville area, getting wet. Meshulaville, there in Noxubee County, wet also. We do have a lot of fog up in Winston County if you're going to be up early today. Sturgis, look at that, up Highway 25, thick fog. But we've got it beginning there in downtown Philadelphia, moving northward there. Boca Chica has it all the way up 19. Be careful. Those areas are rough. Highway 14 in between Macon and there is pretty rough as well with fog. Light showers in Linden, Alabama. Demopolis has a few happening this morning. Laurel, Hattiesburg, that area. Thunderstorms occurring. Down on the coast, we've got a lot going on around Mobile this morning. Navarre, Destin, Panama City will get wet here in just a little bit. So if you're on the Gulf Coast, it's a shower or two in your future as we look at this. Already 6:56 this morning as we get ready for the morning show. We got some coffee to make. Give us 2 minutes. We're going to get that fixed, and we're coming back live to tell you everything that's happened locally. Be a part of it. We'd love to hear from you. It begins at 7 right here at the Scotty Ray Report.